So you think you know New York City, right? You've seen the skyline, you've been to the big sights. But what if I told you that the city's real heart, its true story, isn't in the landmarks at all, but in the tales that are literally etched into its stone?
I mean, really think about it. For most of us, a building is just a building. But New York, it's concrete, it's glass, it's steel. It all comes together to form this giant, open book.
And trust me, by the time we're done here, you are going to see this city in a completely new way. We're about to uncover the secret language, the hidden narratives that are built right into its foundations.
All right, let's start with the big ones, the two giants that really define that classic New York silhouette. We're going to re-examine the architectural styles you think you know and uncover the huge philosophical battles they were fighting.
And here it is, the central conflict. On one side, you've got Art Deco, just racing toward this sleek, modern, machine-age future. And on the other, you have neo-gothic, reaching way back into history to feel timeless and powerful. I mean, these are two completely different worldviews, built right next to each other.
You see, Art Deco wasn't just about making things look pretty. It was a full-blown statement. Buildings like the Chrysler were made to feel fast, modern, and just limitless. It was basically the jazz edge in architectural form, a total celebration of new tech and that boundless American optimism.
So, how do you spot it? Well, keep your eyes peeled for these key details. You know those sunbursts that just explode out from doorways? The sharp, energetic zigzags? The sleek, almost robotic-looking flowers? It's a language of pure motion and modernity, and it's written all over Midtown.
But here's the thing. All this beautiful symbolism, it usually served a much bigger corporate purpose. Take the eagle hood ornaments on the Chrysler building. They weren't just for decoration, no way. They were a bold, metallic scream of wealth, power, and American industrial might. They literally turned a skyscraper into a cathedral dedicated to commerce.
Okay, now let's flip to its rival, neo-gothic architecture. It had a totally different game plan. It used the visual language of medieval cathedrals, you know, those dramatic, soaring lines and ancient details, to give modern companies a feeling of, well, divine right, of unshakable stability. It was all about making business feel eternal. And this is how they pulled off that ancient look. You get the classic pointed arches and those spooky gargoyles. But here's the secret sauce. All of that old world-looking stone was actually hanging on a revolutionary modern steel skeleton. It's this incredible mashup of ancient looks and brand new engineering.
But hey, beyond those two titans, the city's fabric is woven with all these other, often overlooked styles. Think of these as the forgotten chapters, the ones that set the stage for everything that came after.
First up, beaux-arts. Now this was the look of the Gilded Age for sure. Think massive, perfectly symmetrical, and just dripping with classical details. It was the go-to design language for any building that needed to scream power, culture, and civic importance.
And you absolutely know these buildings. The sheer scale and, well, the grandeur of the New York Public Library or Grand Central Terminal, that is textbook beaux-arts. They were designed to be these awe-inspiring palaces for the public, meant to show off stability and knowledge on a truly monumental scale.
And then you've got this style, this rugged, powerful one, Romanesque revival. It's pretty much the architectural equivalent of a fortress. It's all about heavy stone, massive rounded arches, and a feeling of impenetrable security. These buildings were made to look and feel absolutely unshakable.
And while it's not as famous, this style is everywhere once you know what you're looking for. You'll see its foundational strength in old police stations, in university halls, in courthouses, basically any place that needed to project an image of steadfast authority.
Okay, now for my favorite part. Let's zoom in from the grand styles to the tiny little secrets, the small, hidden details and inside jokes left behind by the architects and builders themselves. This is where the city really shows its personality.
I'm talking about the city's cheeky little winks to anyone who bothers to look up. They're these weird anachronisms, jokes, and forgotten practical details that tell a much more human story about how these massive things were actually built and who built them.
Get this, on the 15th floor of 101 Park Avenue, there is a stone carving of a sardine can,
A sardine can. Or how about those small kind of random-looking doors you might spot on early skyscrapers? Turns out they were designed for window washing equipment that is now completely obsolete. Each one is a tiny time capsule hiding in plain sight.
So, what does this all mean for you? Well, at the end of the day, this isn't just a history lesson. It's an invitation. It's an invitation for you to go from being a passive person walking down the street to an active urban explorer. This is the key takeaway. The next time you're walking through the city, don't just walk through it. Start looking at it. Look for the optimism in the bronze details, the history in the heavy stone, and the inside jokes carved 10 stories high. The real magic is in these forgotten stories.
Because now you know where to look. More importantly, you know how to look. This city is a giant canvas of untold stories, just waiting for you to read them. So the only real question left is, what are you going to discover first?